and welcome to the 2021-2022 Outstanding Industrial Engineer Awards virtual event. My name is Erin Grohl, and I'm a fourth-year PhD student in industrial engineering. I work in the Environmental Decision-Making Laboratory under the direction of Dr. David Johnson. My research areas include topics of decision-making under deep uncertainty, risk communication, and flood mitigation. I'm currently in a unique role where I'm both a student and alumna of Purdue's Industrial Engineering. I graduated with my BSIE in 2018 and my MSIE in 2020. Throughout my years of education within the school, I have been able to serve and represent in many different ways. I've been mentored by our faculty and staff, and in return, mentored students' summer and senior design projects. I have worked on projects to revitalize our curriculum so that we may continue to educate the best and brightest industrial engineers. I have represented the school in front of alumni and friends alike as we try to push the current boundaries of our education system. As a researcher and as a teaching assistant, as a student and alumna, and as a mentor and mentee, my experiences have shaped my aspirations into taking my industrial engineering degrees out into the real world and to continue to push the limits of our current knowledge. Tonight, we honor those who are currently doing just that. No matter the application or the industry, the esteemed alumni tonight have overcome challenges, worked hard, and ultimately emerged triumphant. Let's take a look at the journey and accomplishments of the honorees as they join an elite group of outstanding industrial engineers. Let's get started. It is my pleasure to introduce our 2021-2022 Outstanding Industrial Engineers.
Keyvan Esfarjani is Executive Vice President, Chief Global Operations Officer, and General Manager of Manufacturing, Supply Chain, and Operations at Intel Corporation. He is responsible for the company's worldwide manufacturing operations, including fab sort manufacturing, assembly test manufacturing, and strategic planning, as well as corporate quality assurance, corporate services, and supply chain. Previously, Esfarjani led the company's worldwide non-volatile memory manufacturing, responsible for leading the strategy and operation for Intel memory fabs, component assembly test, and 3D NAND and Optane SSD manufacturing. In this capacity, Esfarjani oversaw internal fab operations, supply agreements, and subcontractor engagements. Esfarjani's tenure with Intel began in 1996 as an industrial engineer after working in the automotive industry for 4 years. Since that time, he has held various leadership roles from process engineering, yield, and manufacturing to enabling 16 technology startups. He has demonstrated expertise spanning across logic, memory, and chipset technologies. Esfarjani was the Intel D2 plant manager in California for process development and manufacturing. In 2010, he became the co-CEO of the IM Flash Technologies joint venture with Micron. In 2016, Esfarjani set the vision and strategy for Intel's internal memory manufacturing. He led the Dalian fab conversion from chipset to memory in 7 months, and then construction of a fab expansion in 11 months. Esfarjani recently led the strategy in partnership with FSM for independent memory technology development operation and startup for Optane in the Fab 11X, Rio Rancho. Esfarjani earned his bachelor's and master's degrees in industrial engineering with a focus in operations research from Purdue University.
There are many things I would like to share with you about Keyvan, but I would like to share 2 of them today. First, during his master's research with our PRISM Center in the mid-1990s, and that's a long time ago, he pioneered the design of task administration protocols of shared testers in manufacturing, protocols that were building blocks in the subsequent development of the collaborative control theory and the automation of cyber collaborative production and supply networks. Second, he was a great TA in our class of IE 484, Integrated Production Systems 2. This class is based on a series of design cases, and soon after he worked for Intel, Keyvan sent me a great draft of a new design case on microelectronics facilities, which was so good we're still using it in our class today. You heard just a scratch of the surface of Keivan's sizable professional accomplishments, and we would not be more proud to call him a Purdue IE. For all of Keivan's outstanding accomplishments, the Purdue University School of Industrial Engineering names Keivan Esfarjani to the 2021-22 class of Outstanding Industrial Engineer.
Thank you very much for this great recognition. I'm truly honored to be recognized as an outstanding industrial engineer and to be among such an esteemed group of leaders from Purdue. I want to take a moment and thank Purdue University for their unwavering support through my education. And of course, many of the fellow students and the professors who have been through what I would say foundational part of my education and really what shaped my worldview of, driving my behaviors even as of today. Those are great professors like Professor Rardin, Professor Barany, Professor Schmeiser, Professor Knopf, Professor Solberg, and the list goes on. What makes Purdue great is the community, is the students that and your peers and the professors. Is just a life that you live together for many years. I had the opportunity to do both bachelor's and my master's there, and it was one of the best times of my life. I also want to give the special thanks to all the supporting staff at the Grissom Hall, with working so hard for us every day with all those changes to our courses and registrations, and always being for us for whatever we needed. What the experience for Purdue means to me and how it has helped me through my career. I would say, of course, beyond getting the grade, I learned that working hard pays off. At the time, it was hard. It was those, early mornings, walking to those, math classes at that start at 7 a.m. and engineering classes and, the operations research classes. I was just, I was like, wow, this is just harder than it's supposed to be. But I tell you, now I look back, what I learned the most was from those toughest professors. Those who would, not have any tolerance for smallest, mistakes. They drove the highest standards for quality and perfection. And sometimes at the time you feel like, hey, this was unfair. But now that I look back, I'm absolutely applying those structured problem solving. No, it's basically tolerance for less than perfection, because that's what the real world is all about. And if you ask me what would be my advice for some of the fellow students today, I would start with what I learned when I joined Intel about 27 years ago or so, from one of the greatest leaders and someone who's the management guru that the world looks up to. That's Andy Grove. And he said, in my new higher orientation, he said, I want you all to remember one thing in this company, and that is, if you can't measure it, you can't improve it. And also, for me, the journey at Intel, even to this date, even though I have a fancy title of Chief Global Operations Officer, responsible for all of Intel's manufacturing and supply chain, all of that, with over 37,000 employees. But even to this date, I'm still learning. Every day that I learn something new. So my advice to you is just never stop learning and pursue your passion. If it's not fun, don't do it. And I would also suggest, or I would have my advice to you, that whatever you do, it's all about results. It's all about the impact. It's all about the changes that you enable. And if you do something and you cannot really ask or tell yourself that, what did I just accomplish? This 1 hour that I spent, was it making a difference? Those are the questions, because ultimately it's the results that matters. And one thing to leave you with, and that's from one of the founders of Intel, Robert Noyce. You will have a world ahead of you. Don't be encumbered by history. Go off and do something wonderful. Thank you very much for this great honor. I'm so proud of Purdue. I'm proud of what it has enabled me to accomplish. And I'm always and forever grateful to this amazing school and amazing university. All take care. Bye for now.
Renee Kazar currently serves as Vice President of Global Sustainability and Regulatory Affairs at Johnson Controls. Following defending her thesis, titled Formation of Nanostructured Materials in Low-Cost Manufacturing, Renee graduated in 2003 from Purdue with a master's in industrial engineering. She then joined Avery Dennison in their Global Operations Leadership Development Program. With rotations in both Ohio and California, Renee graduated from the program as a Six Sigma Black Belt. After 4 years, Renee transitioned into marketing, managing a global business development function for home and personal care packaging. From there, Renee was promoted to business director of Avery Dennison's European Graphics Business Unit, spending several years living and working in Europe, based out of Den Haag in the Netherlands. In this role, Renee led a business transformation, managing a cross-functional team of sales, marketing, manufacturing, procurement, and R&D. She ultimately turned the business around, achieving a growth rate double that of industry and expanding profitability. Returning from Europe in 2015, Renee found a career shift into sustainability. At its infancy as a function, Renee was asked to lead the development of Avery Dennison's corporate sustainability program, from designing and setting ESG targets, creating a global sustainability core team, and an extended leadership team comprised of business unit and functional leaders. In 2021, Johnson Controls recruited Renee as their Vice President of Sustainability and Regulatory Affairs, with responsibility for the setting of vision and strategy to achieve both near-term, 2025, and long-term sustainability targets, including achieving a net zero carbon emissions by 2040. And while building a career, Renee received a Master of Business Administration from Case Western Reserve University. She is married to her husband, Brian, living in Moreland Hills, Ohio. They have 5 children, one a graduate from Ohio University, one is an undergrad at Ohio State University, and 3 children in elementary school. She's crossing her fingers she gets at least one enrolled someday as an undergraduate at Purdue, so she can relive all the good times in West Lafayette.
Hi, I'm pleased to welcome Renee Kazar as part of the 2021 OIE class. As a friend and also as our MS thesis advisor, I would like to share what I can remember about her from the early 2000s. Renee was an outstanding undergraduate here at Purdue prior to joining the master's program. If I remember right, she also interned at Disney during her UG days. This was typical of some of the top students in our program. I was delighted when she decided to go into the master's program, especially with a thesis, given that most of our undergraduates typically push off onto industry jobs soon after their bachelor's degree. Renee's thesis contributed much towards understanding how high-strength nanocrystalline metals can be created by squishing them, or the scientific word is deforming them severely. We were all quite delighted with the vigor and tenacity with which she pursued her thesis, enabling low-cost routes for producing nanocrystalline metals, and also spawning a long-term research program in our group at Purdue. Her analytical skills were outstanding. Even more impressive was her ability to conduct original experiments. Renee also showed great drive in getting the thesis done in a span of only about 18 months. I'm happy to see that since then she has been very successful in the business world at world-class companies while also advancing the cause of global sustainability. This is undoubtedly due to her unique combination of analytical skills, leadership, and warm personality. We all expect her to scale even greater heights in the future. While I've seen her only once since her graduation during a visit to Purdue, I had in late 2021 tried reaching her to see if she could put me in touch with an R&D expert on adhesives, not knowing she had moved away from Avery Dennison. Perhaps this OIE ceremony will provide an opportunity for me to reconnect and get the adhesives questions answered. For her outstanding accomplishments, the Purdue University School of Industrial Engineering names Renee Kizar to the 2021 class of Outstanding Industrial Engineer. Congratulations, Renee, and all the best.
Hello, everyone. I hope you are well. I hope you are safe, and I hope you are looking forward to whatever you have in front of you. I'm Renee Kizar, and I'm a Purdue grad from both 2001 and 2003, and I just wanted to acknowledge and recognize all of you for being at Purdue and how proud I am for being a Purdue alum. We are in the middle of some crazy times. We're emerging from a global pandemic. We are witnessing the acceleration of climate change. And right now we're watching real time unfolding events in Ukraine. So I cannot imagine what it's like to be a student right now, but I recognize the human spirit of you being there, the advancement of education, and also the example of the true grit that it takes to solve some of these world's most impossible problems. When I was a senior at Purdue, my industrial round table, where I was out ready to find a job, was actually on September 11th, 2001. And so I was out there were about 2 companies left by 11 o'clock, and there was a resume blowing in the breeze. It was shortly thereafter I found myself in Dr. Chandy's office wondering, what am I going to do now? That he put me on a path to becoming a grad student at Purdue. And through that experience, he taught me how to use the application of sciences across the board in many of the different functions and roles that I have ever since. It's taken me through manufacturing, marketing, business leadership, and now sustainability. And all of those experiences that I've had since, I attribute back to being at Purdue University. In the middle of all of this, receiving the email about this award, it was one of those moments where you get back to the foundation of who you are, and I could not be happier to just have a minute of pause and to remember those wonderful moments that I had at Purdue. Also want to thank my husband. I have a wonderful family. I want to thank my husband for some sound advice throughout the years. Always kept kind of my head up, picking my head up and making sure I was seeing the big picture. Also, I have 3 amazing children, Connor, Pippa, and Maeve. Truly have rounded out my entire life. They've shown me love, and they've kind of given me the energy to get up the next day and to keep moving. And also my parents, they were there from day one, and they continue to show up every day since. 2 pieces of advice. The first is keep fighting the good fight. If you believe you're on the right side of history and you are there to help people, you're there to help the world, you're there to do good, keep going. And not every day is beautiful, and not every day is sunshine, and you'll have some rosy cheeks and some sweat and some presentations. But oh, by the way, greatness is rarely found on the path of perfection. The second piece of advice is through all of that, don't forget to smell the roses, in particular those Rose Bowl roses. My 4 years undergrad at Purdue were all 4 years at Drew Brees, finally led us to the Rose Bowl. And every college playoff season, I always remember the Rose Bowl, and my husband has to hear it, who's an Ohio State grad, but has to hear that one year that we went to the Rose Bowl. But keep smelling the roses. Don't forget to enjoy those small parts in life. And keep looking for Purdue grads. You'll find them everywhere you go. I found them in all states, in all organizations. I've even found them globally. You'll notice the quiet confidence. You'll notice the creativity coming through. And there's always that handshake and a head nod of remembering our times in West Lafayette. So I hope to be with all of you again soon. Again, I appreciate this award so much. I don't know if it's completely deserved, but I so appreciate the recognition. And best of luck to all of you. Boiler up.
Dr. Sundar Kumara is the Alan E. Pierce and Alan M. Pierce Professor of Industrial Engineering at Penn State. Dr. Kumara is recognized for his research in smart manufacturing systems, which spans more than 3 decades. His work on artificial intelligence and machine learning in real-time data analytics, sensor-based process monitoring, and graph analytics. The research has contributed to improvements in manufacturing, as well as specific applications in healthcare, military logistics, and the pharmaceutical sectors. Dr. Kumara was named an IISc Fellow in 2006. He has served on IISC's Body of Knowledge Governing Board, which oversees the organization's repository of relevant industrial and systems engineering concepts, as well as on the editorial board of the journal IISC Transactions. He is also a fellow of the International Academy for Production Engineering, the American Association for the Advancement of Science, and the American Society of Mechanical Engineers. In 2021, Dr. Kumara received the David F. Baker Distinguished Research Award from the Institute of Industrial and Systems Engineers. The award is given once annually to one IISC member in recognition of outstanding research throughout a career of accomplishments that broadly benefited practitioners, organizations, or other researchers. He has also won the Excellence in Research Award from ASME Computers and Information Engineering Division and was listed among the 20 most influential academics in smart manufacturing by the Society of Manufacturing Engineers. He teaches graduate and undergraduate courses in data analytics and artificial intelligence. 64 PhD and 79 MS students have graduated under his guidance.
Dr. Sounder Kumara is a professor in the Department of Industrial and Manufacturing Engineering at Penn University. He is a well-known scholar nationally and internationally in several domains, including manufacturing, signal processing, and artificial intelligence and machine learning. Most recently, in 2021, Dr. Kumara received the David Baker Distinguished Research Award from the Institute of Industrial and Systems Engineers, which is given annually to only one IS member in recognition of outstanding research. I would like to also mention that Dr. Kumara really cares for his students like his family, giving necessary advice and help even in his difficult situations and even long after students' graduation. With all my respect to him and his family, the Purdue University School of Industrial Engineering named Sounder Kumara to the 2021 to 2022 class of Outstanding Industrial Engineer.
Good evening. I want to thank the School of Industrial Engineering at Purdue for selecting me to receive the Outstanding Industrial Engineer Award this year. I am humbled and honored to join the elite group of Purdue IE alumni, whose career achievements have been recognized by this annual award. I want to thank my PhD advisors, Professors Aurel Kashyap and Colin Moody, for their guidance while I was a graduate student and also for their continued support over all these years. I'm also fortunate to have been taught by outstanding educators at Purdue like Professors Jim Solberg, Ted Chang, T. Govindaraj, Joe Tanchako, Shimon Naff, and Vijay Chandru, among others. Every teacher I took a class with at Purdue inspired me to do my best in every endeavor that I undertook. I thank them for their dedication. Purdue offered me an experience which I carry with me even now. For me, the impact is certainly lifelong. The friendships I have built with my fellow graduate students, the discussions we had in the union over lunch and coffee breaks, shaped both my thinking and outlook. The help and mentorship my professors provided me, both inside and outside the classroom, formed the foundations for my interactions with my students even today. Purdue was also a home away from home, with Bhagavad Gita classes every Tuesday evening in the union with Professor Kashyap, periodic gatherings with the Indian Student Association members, occasional cricket games when the weather permitted, going bowling with my friends. I never felt alone. I will not trade the experience of being a boiler maker with any other. My Purdue education also allowed me to have a meaningful career and life. As a professor at Penn State, I am fortunate to have had the opportunity to mentor hundreds of students and interact with colleagues from around the world who have molded my thinking and shaped my journey over the last 3 decades. Life always has ups and downs, and I had mine at Purdue and beyond. From facing this, the advice I would give to younger students today is to always follow your dream and to seek help when you need it. Make perseverance, hard work, humility, and gratitude a part of your daily life. When you do this, the universe will find ways to assist you, and your dreams will become reality. remember that no one can limit your progress, and you alone have the power to march forward and find and embrace your own happiness. I can honestly say that this is one of my most meaningful awards to date. To come full circle and receive an award from the institution that is home and that has shaped my career and my life. I consider myself fortunate to stand in front of you today and share my happiness with all of you. I am also thankful for my family, my parents and siblings who shaped my childhood with their love and support, and my wife and my daughter who give meaning to it now. Again, I want to thank Purdue for this tremendous honor. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. I'm especially impressed with the careers and examples as ongoing legacies for each of our newest outstanding industrial engineers. Kevan, Renee, and Sundar graduated in different decades and have made their marks in different areas of industry and academia. And yet, each is very much a Purdue industrial engineer. Another item that strikes me is that 2 of our 3 OIEs share an undergraduate and graduate experience of Purdue industrial engineering. By far, the majority of IE alumni are undergrads, and our global reputation for undergraduate education across the range of companies, agencies, and governments is unquestioned. We may be a bit biased, of course. But an underappreciated element of our global reputation for undergraduate education is built on our global reputation for graduate education. Grad students are the teaching assistants who hold office hours and grade the assignments. They're the ones putting in the long hours in research and analysis and writing. They're the ones whose success entwines with that of their professors and with even more direct connection to the undergrads. So I also want to celebrate how each of our OIEs also represents the preparation of Purdue's IE's graduate program. I don't think I'm too biased to say that our graduate students make our undergraduate education better, and some of our best undergrads also become a part of our graduate education legacy. So thank you, Kevan, Renee, and Sundar. Congratulations to you, our 2021-22 Outstanding Industrial Engineer awardees. Boiler up and hammer down. Hail Purdue.
To your call once more we rally, alma mater, hear our praise. Where the Wabash spreads its valley filled with joy, our voices raise. From the skies in swelling echoes come the cheers that tell the tale of your victories and your heroes. Hail Purdue, we sing all hail. Hail, hail to old Purdue, all hail to our old gold and black. Hail, hail to old Purdue, our friendship may she never lack. Ever grateful, ever true, lest we raise our song anew of the days we spent with you. All hail our own Purdue. When in after years we're turning alma mater back to you, may our hearts with love be yearning for the scenes of old Purdue. Back among your pathways winding, let us seek what lies before. Fondest hopes and aims they're finding while we sing of days of yore. Hail, hail to old Purdue, all hail to our old gold and black. Hail, hail to old Purdue, our friendship may she never lack.